early afternoon. We are semi-live here at Wisdom Harbor Studios in Orange Beach, Alabama. And I'm Andy Andrews. You've joined us on the Blue Plate Special here at the Wharf. It's a beautiful day here at the Wharf, and we have many people just walking around. We got our Tuesday couple here and many other people here in the studio. I'm sure you guys have already stopped and had your picture taken by the Marlin statues and the escalator statues, and you're set, ready to go for a Blue Plate. We got a very interesting show for you today. Very interesting show. I'm going to complain about some authors. So how about that? And hey, if you're new to us, if you are on Facebook, we would ask that you please click the notification button. That way you will also turn on your notifications on your phone. And then when we go live anytime here, or even semi-live like we are today, you'll be notified that we are semi-live or live, whichever the case may be. And as always, this broadcast is not animal tested. If you're on YouTube, we would ask that you press that submit button. Subscribe. If you have a submit button, press that one too. But probably just the subscribe button. That would really help us. And welcome to the Twitter people and the LinkedIn people. We're glad to have you guys here today. What's going on? Bob Woodall from Dothan, Alabama. Call Bob. You know, I grew up with Bob. Bob is, it is cool to have been in the third grade with somebody who's still one of your best friends. I think that's cool. And Bob has gotten old, and I still look just like I did when I was, well, not in the third grade, but, when I was 30, I think. Yvonne Palmer, good to see you. And you guys in Salt Lake City. Glad it's a good day there in Salt Lake City. Anybody gotten an elk? Yet? Heather? Anybody? Who else? George Cosser III. We're glad to have you here. And naval salute there. Who else? Sandra Mendonca from Searcy, Arkansas, home of Harding University, where you ate your mascot. There is Lu Qin from somewhere in China, and I can't pronounce it. But we're glad to have you here. And I ate ramen noodles last night. Now, that doesn't get me, canceled or anything, does it? I mean, is that, racist? It's okay. All right. I did eat ramen noodles last night. You know what I did this weekend? I was with, Thursday, I was in Nashville and hung out with Dave Ramsey a little bit. And then Friday went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and was at the Mabee Center there, the big arena on Oral Roberts University campus. It was there with Bill Gaither and the Gaither Vocal Band reunion all weekend. It was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. To be there with that much talent is just, it is crazy. I mean, people, it's funny that when I grew up, my dad was a minister of music, and I was in choirs, and I did some plays and stuff. And so when I get into entertainment, people that knew me would ask, "Do you sing when you're?" And I'm like, no, because there's a big difference in making people. There's a big difference in singing for your friends and your family and singing for people who don't care about you, who don't know you. And I mean, there's just a big difference. I mean, I can carry a tune, but there's a big difference in the sound that comes out of Jason Crabb's mouth or Wes Hampton's mouth or Mark Lowry's mouth. There's a big difference in the sound that comes out of their mouth that comes out of my mouth, even though it's the same on pitch. Just, different gifts we were given. But, I was the only speaker at the weekend. And so when I'm up on stage there, and I'm up on stage with Bill and Gordon Moat and Wes Hampton and Reggie and Michael English and Russ Taff and David Phelps and Todd. I know I'm going to forget 10 people. But when I'm on stage with them, it's kind of the feeling that I had. It's the feeling that I had a number of years ago when I was speaking at a pharmaceutical representatives convention, and pharmaceutical reps don't tell me these people are not hired for their looks. Just don't even try to tell me that. I mean, pharmaceutical reps and ESPN sideline reporters. Just don't tell me. Just don't even tell me, because these are pretty men and handsome women. These are the nines and tens of America, and these pharmaceutical reps. These are, and I had the feeling. I told Polly when I got home. There were 6,500 pharmaceutical reps out there, and it's pretty odd to be in a room with 6,500 people and be pretty sure you're the ugliest one in the room. I'm just telling you. But that was the kind of the feeling that I had being on stage with the Gaither Vocal Band reunion. You're on stage with 30 or 40 guys, and you're pretty sure you're the worst singer on stage. But we had a great time. It was truly, it was an incredible event. And if the vocal band is coming near you between now and Christmas, and especially if you can get to one of those Christmas shows, go on the Gaither Vocal Band website and look at the tour schedule, because you'll just be blown away. Hey, how do you like my shirt? I don't know if you can actually read this, but my shirt is a special shirt today. It's Campbell's Hardware and Sporting Goods in Robertsdale, Alabama. Now, this is a place that Polly, the boys, and I, we love this place. And if you come down to the beach, they are right on 59. Now, they're not on the expressway. They're on Old Highway 59, right on the main drag there in Robertsdale, Alabama. You owe it to yourself to stop at Campbell's Hardware and Sporting Goods. Family owned and operated. Campbell's is your hometown hardware and sporting goods store. They're offering service that satisfies since 1946. This is their 75th year in business. The store offers a wide selection of hardware, paint products, water well supplies, culinary items, small home appliances, and gardening tools. The sporting goods section carries quality hunting and fishing equipment and apparel, and a full-service archery shop, along with having Emery and his certified gunsmiths on staff who can answer customer questions, mount scopes, and repair firearms on site. Campbell's Hardware and Sporting Goods is open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every Monday through Saturday. Stop by and say hello to Nelson Wingo, whose daddy started the store, to Ashley, his daughter, or to any one of the fine people who have made their careers at Campbell's Hardware and Sporting Goods store on Highway 59 in Robertsdale, Alabama, on the way to the beach. Man, I love that store. The boys and I, when we go to the camp, we always stop by Campbell's. And so, you just love just walking the aisles in there and just seeing the stuff, seeing these guys that run the store. I mean, it's awesome. Hey, before we get to my complaints about some authors, I found a little odd piece of history that I thought you would be interested in today while we're semi-live. And that is, I found this during World War II, and the Russians, I thought this was odd and hilarious, okay? And they did it fast because the Russians were attacked by the Germans, and, because Germany had a non-aggression pact with Stalin. So here's Stalin killing millions of people and Hitler killing millions of people, and they have a non-aggression pact with each other. But who would have thought that one would have turned on the other? Who would have ever suspected that? But Hitler turned on Stalin, and but the Russians, here's the Germans coming with their tanks and all. Well, the Russians very quickly they trained dogs to run under tanks with bombs strapped to their backs. Okay? They trained dogs to do this. And then they took them to the front and they strapped bombs on them, pulled the cord, 30 seconds to go, and go, dog, go. There's just one enormous problem with this. Although it was a brilliant plan in theory, unfortunately, the dogs were trained with Russian tanks. So when the battles actually came, when they actually bombed up these dogs and pulled the ripcord on them and said, go, the dogs dove under the Russian tanks and they blew up the home team. How about that? I say that's just kind of what you get, Okay. All right. Now we're going to get to me complaining about some authors. I obviously don't complain about a lot of authors because I are one, but I read something this morning from I think it was on MSNBC or something, and it was like 3 parenting things that parents should not tell their kids, and this article started off. So I'm always interested in parenting stuff, and so this started off. It said, as parenting experts and authors of, so they've got a new parenting book out. These 2 guys, and I'm not going to say their name, and I'm not going to say the name of the book because I don't want you to buy it even out of fun. But they said, as parenting experts and authors of such and such a book, we have a combined 65 years of research and experience working with kids. Here are 3 things you do not want to say to your children. Okay, now these are guys who are experts. They're parenting experts. Now, granted, you get a business card, you can say you're an expert, okay? But they say these are the things that you do not say to your kids. And I would like to tell you what they are, tell you what they say they are, and give you their explanations. And then I would like to comment on these things, if you don't mind. All right. According to these 2 experts with 65 years experience parenting kids, let me calm down here. One of the things that you do not say to a child is, it's my job to keep you safe. We don't say that. That's what they tell us. You should not say that. And here's why. They say, as kids get older and reach middle school or high school, keeping them safe is a job that we cannot, by any measure, do successfully. We're not with them all the time, and we can't track their every move. When kids think it's the parent's job to keep them safe and not theirs, they're more apt to behave recklessly, thinking there is always a safety net when really there is not. Are you kidding me? I mean, what dumb kids are these people working with? I mean, what kids are going? I mean, so we're not supposed to say, it's my job to keep you safe. And this is why I'm doing this. My job to keep. We're not supposed to say that, because the kid might actually think, okay, it's your job to keep me safe. And so I'm going to drive my car at 90 miles an hour because my parents are keeping me safe. But then we shouldn't have told them that, because we really can't keep them safe. And they think we should keep. Seriously? I mean, seriously? I am going to jump off this cliff because my parents are keeping me safe. And then you end up on the rocks below and you're confused because your parents didn't keep you safe. And that's why you should not say to your kids, it's my job to keep you safe. Give me a break. All right, here's another one. Okay. I love this one. I just love this one. All right, this one is, you should not say, I'm punishing you because you have to learn that this behavior is unacceptable. You should not say that. And here's why. According to the experts, enforcing punishment might help you feel like you have a sense of control, but it only hurts your relationship with your kid. It's also an ineffective tool for changing behavior. Although it may briefly stop a meltdown, the more parents threaten, the more kids lie and hide problems they may need help with. All right, now let me just stop right there. Back me up here a little bit. So we're not supposed to say, according to these experts, we're not supposed to say, I'm punishing you because you got to learn that you can't behave this way. This behavior is unacceptable. And it's supposedly going to ruin your relationship with your kid. And although it may briefly stop a meltdown, the more parents do this, evidently the more kids lie and hide problems they may need help with. No, lying and hiding stuff, that's what I got punished for. I mean, my parents actually told me, they said, if you tell us the truth, you're not going to get a spanking. But you lie, we'll wear you out. That's what my parents told me. And so you're telling me that to tell your kids, I'm punishing you because this is unacceptable behavior. You should not tell them that, because you're going to ruin their relationship with you, and that will just make them hide problems they may help you. Now listen to this. Then they say, what successful parents do and say instead is, If they don't want to hear your opinion, if your child doesn't want to hear your opinion, don't force it on them. Say instead, I feel pretty upset about what just went down, and I suspect you may too. Can we talk later about how to get a better outcome if this happens again? I mean, you know what? Now, let me back up here. Let me back up. All right. So, do you know what a kid will say to that? You know what a kid will say to that? All right. I felt pretty upset about what just went down, and I suspect you may too. Can we talk later about how to get a better outcome if this happens again? A kid will go, no. What you gonna do then?
And
I
while
can't
you're
hear you,
gone,
man.
bring me back.
What? I can't.
And while you're gone, bring me back some ice cream.
Yeah. No, we can't talk. And while you're gone, bring me back some ice cream. That would be a better outcome. Are you kidding me? You're gonna ask them? All right, and then they say, talk with them, not at them. Here's what you should say. I need you to know that I'm not okay with what you did, but I really want you to No, wait. I blew that. Let me do that again. All right. Let me get my condescending, weird voice again. I need you to know, this is what they say we should say to our kids. I need you to know that I'm not okay with what you did, but I really want to understand where you are coming from. Can you tell me? And again, the kid's going to say, no. And get me some ice cream. I don't know that my parents cared where I was coming from. I think it was behavior that they were. I think, you can tell. King Solomon wrote that you could tell even a child's character can be told by how he acts. And so I think my parents were shaping my character by shaping how I acted. I don't think that when I was 4, I don't think they cared where I was coming from. And I'm not sure I knew where I was coming from. Okay, here's another thing you should not say, according to these experts. You're spending too much time on your phone. We should not say that. And the experts say the problem with this statement, it's that it's not respectful of the way a kid inhabits their social world, a world that looks much different than yours did. Social media and gaming are versions of the note passing and arcade visits that were so instrumental in our youth, and we wouldn't have taken well to someone suggesting that we just cut that part of our lives out, would we? Actually, I don't remember anybody suggesting that I cut out passing notes or that I cut out going to the arcade. I remember Mrs. McLeod punishing me for passing notes. She didn't suggest that my parents didn't suggest I spend less time at the arcade. Now, see, let me get to that in a second. But let me just say, here's what else they say about that. Okay, they say, plus, we want to help kids manage their relationship with technology. because we have a pretty good idea that it isn't going anywhere. That's condescending BS. It's like, I mean, do we think it's going anywhere? Come on, we need them to manage technology. Yeah, that's why anger management works so well. Yeah, we got people out there telling somebody, take this anger and manage it. Keep it for years and years. Just keep it in your life for years and years and learn how to manage your anger. Really? Yeah. Manage something like that? Why not just get rid of it? Why not teach forgiveness and just how to get rid of it? Okay, so we're going to manage technology when technology is ruling your kid's life. Teach them to all right, this is what they say. Successful parents do or say instead. They say, increase your influence by showing interest in what interests them. Ask about the games they play, people they follow, shows they watch, books they read, and partake with them. Power struggles have no winners long term. Give them a reason to get off their phones. I noticed that you haven't been spending any time with us since you got home from school. Do you want to go to the library and pick out some new books? Again, the answer is no, I don't. And they say, mentor more than you monitor. How much more time do you need to finish up what you're doing? I don't want to cut off your games, but I also want you to be on your phone in a way that seems balanced.
Now, I don't even have kids, and this is like, what do you do when they're talking to people they shouldn't be talking to on there, but then you can't punish them for it? I mean, you got someone with internet access. You should probably be monitoring that pretty closely.
Yeah, and this idea about what are they playing? What are they watching? What books are they reading? What games are they playing? And partake with them. Let me tell you where society retilted. There was a time when kids looked at adults and they wanted to be adults. They really wanted to be adults. They wanted to become adults. And parents, even though they may not have thought about it intentionally, they were subconsciously raising kids to become great adults, not just raising great kids. Okay, so now we have to say to each other, okay, you're not just raising great kids, you're raising kids who become great adults. Because there has been a tilt of society. Because back then, kids wanted to be adults. I mean, kids wanted to stay in the room and listen to the adults talk. They wanted to listen to the adult conversations. They wanted to watch the adult television shows. They wanted to read the adult books. They wanted to dress like adults. They wanted shoes like daddy. They wanted, and so it was a source of guiding them to say, okay, you can stay in and listen if you're quiet. But if you're not quiet, you're going to bed. Okay, so you can stay in and listen to the adults. And we learned conversations. We learned how to agree disagreeably. We learned how our parents talked to each other and how they teased each other and what was, in bounds and what was out of bounds. And we wanted to be adults. But there came a time when the adults were evidently, they got so mad at getting older or so sad at becoming older that is this Peter Pan syndrome. They wanted to stay kids. And all of a sudden, now you have adults that dress like kids, adults that try to talk like kids, adults that try to watch, they want to watch kids stuff so they can be like kids. They can wear stuff like kids. They can talk like kids. They can listen to stuff like kids. And so now everybody's wanting to be a kid, and they're wanting their kids to have the childhood they didn't have. Look, you look at the greatest generation. The greatest generation, we've said before, it wasn't them that's really the greatest generation. It was their parents. It was their teachers. It was the adults in that society who raised these kids by a standard who have become what we still look back 70 years and say that's the best society ever was. Okay, well, let's look at the childhood that the greatest generation had. These people did chores. They worked. They weren't off all the time. They didn't watch TV all the time. They didn't play games. Nobody wanted to give them something. And nobody wanted them to stay kids forever. And nobody wanted to be kids with them. These parents were raising children to be great adults, and they became great adults. They became a generation that sacrificed more, that gave more, that produced more in our nation. I mean, look at these pictures of these people in World War II. I mean, you and I know that they were 19 and 17 and 20, 18, but they had the responsibilities of a world on their shoulders. And well, so this book that is being pushed by the media, these two guys are the co-authors of this book, and one is a clinical neuroscientist and a professor of psychiatry and pediatrics at a big university school of medicine. And the other guy is the founder of a big company and the author of a big book. And this guy and that guy have 65 years of combined experience working with parents and children. You know, you could say that, Hitler had a solid 5 years of working with the Jewish people. I guess you could put that on his resume. Just because somebody has 65 years of experience parenting, I mean, that woman in Texas that drove her car off a cliff and killed her 6 kids, she had experience parenting too. You guys, we have to be wise. We have to think. And we have to wake up. The reasons people change is what's in it for them and proof beyond a reasonable doubt. We need to explain. We explain to our kids, this is why you're being punished. This is why this is not a good idea. And so what do you think? We're going after the best here. So what do you think? Let's talk. And, we're going after the best, which is one thing. And so we'll talk until I convince you or you convince me. And but we both want the best for you. I want the best for you. Do you want the best for you? I think you want the best for you too. Okay, well, I may not know what the best for you is, and you may not know what the best for you is, and so let's talk. Let's figure it out. Let's not make a mistake on this. You only have one life, so let's make it a best life. There's a way you can have a great relationship with your kids and still teach them self-discipline. You know, self-discipline is the hallmark of a wise person. Self-discipline is the hallmark of a wealthy person. Self-discipline is the hallmark of a person whose relationships are strong. Self-discipline is the hallmark of somebody who is learning, somebody who is becoming. Self-discipline is the hallmark of so many good things. And discipline is nothing in the world but a precursor. Discipline exists to lead someone to self-discipline. You discipline a little kid and continue to talk with them as they grow, so that you make sure that they are capable of self-discipline, because you discipline it first and you hold strongly, and then you gradually let go and watch that self-discipline take root. You only discipline to produce self-discipline, to send them out into the world as great adults, because you and I both know we have seen the evidence of adults in the world who have no self-discipline. And if you're an adult in our society and you have no self-discipline, society will discipline you for you. And if society has to discipline you, it's never pretty. It's always, you're under arrest, here's a restraining order, you're fired. I mean, when society disciplines a person, it's never pretty. And that's why we raise our kids with discipline, so they can develop self-discipline and turn into adults who are contributing members to society. I'm Andy Andrews. This has been the Blue Plate Special. See you Thursday. Bye.